Welcome to Hustle and Pro Season 2, talking sports in Frisco from youth to pro. Now here's your host, Kelly Walker.
Welcome to Hustle and Pro. Today we're talking golf. We have our friend from UNT, Steven Tudor, here talking with us today. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in golf around Frisco. Thanks for joining us, Steven. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. All right, so before we start talking about PGA and all things golf, I want to know a couple of quick hits about you, like who's your favorite athlete?
Favorite athlete? Probably Michael Jordan, I would say.
Who's your favorite team?
Unfortunately, my favorite team is the Miami Dolphins.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, they're having a rough go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tough to be a Dolphins fan, I guess.
It is.
But have you always been a Dolphins fan? You hanging in there and waiting for it to come around?
Yeah, so I have this weird eclectic group of teams that I follow. So, about the time I was starting to follow sports in the early 90s,
Yeah.
The Dolphins had Dan Marino.
Yeah.
And I was rebelling against the cowboy culture. Mm-hmm. And I've tried to stick with them.
Man, living around here, that's tough. So good for you. Yeah. All right, what about sports movie?
Sports movie. Ooh.
Now you have Ace Ventura in my head because you said Dan Marino and the Dolphins. So
yes. Yep.
Is that what I'm going to laugh if that's your answer? But
no, I would have to go with Happy Gilmore.
Oh, love Happy Gilmore. Yes, so that's a perfect segue into our golf conversation. All right, so then what is your personal story in connection with golf?
So I've been playing for about 25 years, I guess, playing golf. I started in middle school. I played as a junior and senior in high school. And one of the first things I did after I graduated college and started working is I got an annual membership at a course, and I started playing 6 or 7 days a week.
Wow.
So sometimes it was just 3 or 4 holes. Sometimes it was a full 18 after work. But I got down to a 6 handicap. And then I got married and had kids. And so now
then your golf game changes, right?
Yes, now I'm up to like 11, 12 handicap. But it's great living around Dallas and Frisco. So many options and so many courses.
Yeah, so now how often do you get to play? Well, I know we're in the time of a pandemic, but in normal life before that changed, what was your normal schedule, golf pace?
Twice a month, I would say, was a good estimate.
Yeah.
I have friends that come down from Oklahoma, because that's where I'm from, and we'll hit the gambit of pretty much every course north of George Bush that we can play. Yeah,
lots of golf around here. Okay, so the big topic lately, right, is PGA. So let's talk about just kind of what's your take on the idea of PGA relocating here. I mean, I'm ecstatic and happy, and I know there's some people that aren't as happy as me, maybe, but what's your take on it?
So I'm really excited. The fact that we're going to have that whole development, even if you don't play golf, is going to be great with the hotel and all the tourism that can come in with that, the mixed-use development that's going to be there. I'm not as up to speed what's going to happen. In my mind, I vision something similar to what's at the Star, with the restaurants and other locations. But then the courses themselves, having 2 18-hole courses, championship level, the practice facility and the 10-hole short course. My girls don't play a lot, but I take them out occasionally, so that would be perfect for them. And then the benefit, having been a high school golfer, that all the Frisco schools will have, having access to those facilities.
Do you think it's going to change, 5-10 years from now? Do you think it will have changed our numbers here of youth golfers that grow into being golfers?
I think so. I think just by having those available, and it may even increase people moving here for that specific reason.
Right.
Because when I grew
families
up,
that are they know they're have young golfers that are developing, they might say, well, let's go get them closer to that access, right?
Exactly. Because right now that location is Florida. When I was growing up, some of the elite junior golfers would do just that, relocate their entire families to Florida, because they had schools that were dedicated to just golfing.
Yeah.
So you would go to class, part of the day, but they were private schools where it was all about getting you ready to play golf.
So do you think, is it just Frisco ISD students that'll have access? Like, is it kind of partnership like with the Star, how, some of our kids play at those facilities? Or do you think it's surrounding areas too?
Well, since it's going to be public, I think everybody have access. But I do think you're right that there is an agreement similar to the Star,
Frisco specific.
so that Frisco High School golfers
Yeah.
will have weekly access, which I would have loved.
Right. I know, just a few minutes up the road. So then for locals, I mean, what does this mean for locals then? Will we be able to, like all these courses, what will we be able to get on easily and play any time, or is this going to be reserved for like members? I don't know how, a PGA Headquarters course works like on a daily basis.
Yeah, from my understanding, it's going to be a public course that you just call and reserve a tee time and then show up and play. And I don't think there's any private aspect of it. Of course, if they're having a tournament, right, they'll
Sure.
close the course. But
Sure. And then, so I read the 10-hole short course. Is that normal to have some? I'm just not used to hearing that.
It's not normal. There is I think, 6-hole short course at Waters Creek and Allen, and a couple other locations have 3 to 6-hole little short courses. But having the 10-hole one there, you can expect it to be of the same high quality that the rest of the courses will be in. So that's definitely something that, particularly for junior golfers, with having the access to all of the PGA teachers, I think there's something like 29,000 PGA members. Of which all of those are certified as teachers. And so having some of those located there, you can take your child out and on the course without having to run them around on the full thing, which
Yeah.
I've done at the one in Allen with my kids.
Us too. That was actually the most recent round of golf we played, I think, was the Allen course. It's great for our kids because, just the time, just a shorter amount of time, and just the easy, the easy holes.
Yeah.
It's good for me and my husband too because we like to golf. We're just not good at golf.
Right.
So a full, difficult 18-hole course is a lot for me, especially when we have 2 kids with us. But yeah, so the 10-hole short course will probably be more, my speed, my family's speed, something like that we'll go use most often.
And it's faster, right? You're busy. You don't have time to sit 4 to 5 hours,
Right.
on the full. So getting out there and just getting in a quick 30 to 45 minute. Usually the short holes are walkable, so you can also get exercise, and I think they're great.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I should have mentioned, I know you because you work at UNT, and so we have some partnerships with you guys with Lifestyle Frisco. Is there any synergy there with UNT and the PGA move here to Frisco?
So a couple of things. I know we have a partnership with them through the college as a whole. I'm not sure what the details of that are, but similar to what we have with the Dallas Cowboys. And then our new campus that's in Frisco is going to be right there, kind of synergistic with their plot of land.
Yeah, you'll be neighbors.
Exactly. And for me personally, I'm hoping, that whole area can lead to maybe some new companies around golf technology.
Sure.
That could either come out of the university or partner with the university from a research perspective. So
Yeah.
that's exciting as well.
Yeah, because you work as a director of licensing and you work in research commercial agreements. So that probably, that's your wheelhouse, right?
Yes.
So you see the possibility, potential of some tech companies and things like that.
Oh yeah,
Making
definitely.
the home.
Being able to work through intellectual property and research. UNT's College of Engineering is great in the material science and mechanical engineering spaces. So, that future outlook would be great.
Yeah, it sounds like a good match. So recently, Lifestyle Frisco put out an article, I think it was, early October, about the updates and the progress that everything's been made up there at PGA. So I learned in that article, Nicole Barron wrote it, how much this actually happened. Construction started in August of 2020 on both courses. They should be done already in November. Now, they're going to let them sit, and I can't remember the right verbiage, but grow and actually develop themselves before they're going to be widely used. But that was surprising to me. I like that people are calling it the Silicon Valley of golf. I think that's kind of fun because, our Sports City USA tag here is always fun and interesting to talk to people about. So it also, there's the hotel resort, like you said, clubhouse, retail. That stuff's going to be done 2023 is what they're shooting for. And then, let's see, 2027 is a PGA Championship. And then the first, is this, am I right, that the first thing we might see is a senior PGA Championship coming up sooner. Do you know when that one was?
Yeah, it should be 2023.
That
I
one
think it's
also?
May,
Okay.
May of 2023.
Okay, so basically, like right when it's all up and running, then they'll be hosting that senior championship. So is that something that I've never lived in a town with like golf? We have a lot of pro stuff here. We go to pro baseball, football, soccer, all that stuff, but in hockey. But do you just buy a ticket to something like that and just show up, or is this something that it's going to be like impossible for people like us to go to?
Oh, no. Most of the PGA championships are fairly easy to get tickets to. I actually went to one in Tulsa at Southern Hills on a Friday and walked that. And it was, you just walk in and walk around. Parking's always the thing that gets. We had to park, and then they trammed you to that one. But yeah, it's very, very awesome, and they've shifted around the PGA a little bit on the tour schedule to get it out of August. So
So that one you said will be a little earlier in the year.
yeah, I think
Ours here.
yeah, I think they're trying to shoot for May events for
Oh, good.
Texas
Yeah.
to keep it out of 100
So
degrees.
we won't melt. I'm used to melting out in sports, but most people don't want to go out there and do that. But yeah, that sounds right. I have gone to the Byron before, and I remember a lot of shuttling because middle of Irving, that's just how you do it. You find a lot and get shuttled in. And I do want to talk about that also. But before we move away from the PGA, so I'm curious, with all of the amenities and all of the different things coming here for PGA, what are you most looking forward to personally?
Personally, two things. One, being able to play the courses. And two, the Ryder Cup.
Tell me about that then.
So the Ryder Cup, I think maybe 2029. So it happens every 2 years, U.S. versus U.K. And just the atmosphere from that normally is a tick above all the other tournaments, particularly, for your home team.
Yeah.
So being able to go to one of those, because I've never been able to, is definitely something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that'll be fun because so many European golfers now are, I think, at the forefront and the top of the leaderboard so often. So that'll be a bunch of, it's almost like, I always feel like when those are on TV, the Ryder Cups, it's like everyone playing is really well known for people like me that are kind of not over the top golf fans. Just, I kind of know all the big names. So those are always really fun and entertaining to watch the head-to-head competition, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I mentioned the Byron Nelson. So I hear that it is also moving north. Is that right? But not so much Frisco.
Right. So that's going to happen May 2021 at the TPC Craig Ranch.
Okay.
And it had been at Trinity Forest for the past few years. Before then, like you mentioned, down in Irving. So they're hoping, some of the complaints about it being at Trinity Forest, the way Trinity Forest is set up, it's wide open. And they had bad luck with weather for a couple of the tournaments, and then when it was warmer, being exposed. And then some of the PGA Tour players weren't big fans, so they had kind of drop in, the quality of so.
Yeah, you weren't getting as many of the guys, the big names to draw everybody.
Yeah, so they're hoping this will definitely, improve that.
Yeah. So when something like that moves to our city, so I know it's McKinney, but a lot of our listeners are in Frisco, Allen, McKinney, all around here, our neighboring cities. Like, what do you know much about the numbers? I feel like you're a numbers guy, right? Do you know what the impacts are with those kind of things?
I am a numbers guy. So I have read like an actual research article that was done over in Georgia for the Sea Island Golf Club for a PGA Tour event. So it's definitely a different geographical area than right here.
But event-wise is probably along the same lines.
Yeah. So for that event, they actually estimated, $10 to $11 million as an
Wow.
economic impact. And that was 7 years ago for the
Oh
actual
gosh.
data.
So then, yeah, it's
So
yeah,
you could be
definitely
looking 20, 25 million impact locally.
So when you say, the Byron Nelson, that's how many? Is this like a 10 days? How much time wise is this where you're going to have people coming in and where your tourism is going to increase? Is it like a week?
It's pretty much the whole week.
Yeah.
I know practice rounds and pro-ams Tuesday, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
The tournament itself Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with the weekend usually being higher attended.
Sure.
People aren't working, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Wanting to get to the later rounds.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's usually the whole week and then maybe a day or two afterwards as things are starting to wrap up.
Yeah. But that's what's cool is that it's not just a day. A lot of the things that we host around here do tend to be a day. A college football championship game or something where it is 1 or 2 hours, and sure, people come in early and different teams arrive early and things like that. But that's pretty cool about all these golf tournaments that we'll be hosting is that it'll be spread out and it'll be, it might be a tough week for locals, having that much extra people in, but economy-wise, that's a nice week-long boom for restaurants and hotels and our tourism here.
Yeah, definitely. And then even, the LPGA currently has an event over at Old American.
In the Colony?
Yes.
Yeah,
at
I
Old
remember.
Colony.
Yeah.
So that's a great event too. I like that course quite a bit.
Okay, let's shift gears to talk about upcoming golf that's not 3 or 7 or 9 years away from us getting to watch. So the Masters. So let's see. The Masters is coming up November. It starts on the 12th with the final round Sunday the 15th, I think. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
So what I haven't, gotten kind of I haven't wrapped my mind around what that's going to look like this year. So what should we expect it to look like? Fans, no fans, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so the fact that they're having no fans is definitely going to be a big difference because a lot of times at Augusta, the course itself, the beauty of the course, sometimes is bigger than the actual tournament going on. But now
The
it's
optics,
the optics of
yeah.
it is just great, and the way they film it is great. And then not having the fans kind of opens it up a little bit more from a viewing perspective. But then being in November instead of April is going to shift kind of the color scheme a little bit that you're seeing.
Yeah.
But I, like a lot of the PGA golfers have said at previous tournaments, that it's not the same for them, without fans there.
Yeah, there's a level of energy, right? And all that comes with it. So shifting it at such a different part of the year, does that, gosh, I feel for the groundskeepers and all the people trying to figure out how to make that actually work. Does as a golfer who golfs so often, do you think that will make a big difference in play?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Mostly because Augusta is so good at what they do.
Yeah.
That they can probably recreate April, just about as good as any other course in the country.
They're kind of miracle workers, making, green grass look green and perfect, literally like perfect all the time, right?
Yeah, I've never been. Every
Me
year
neither.
I put in my lottery, and my name in the lottery
Oh,
to
yeah?
get tickets. Still never won, but I know people that have. And they're like, you when you're on the course, I dare you to find one spot that you're walking on that is unkempt at all.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I hear. I've never been either. I've never put in for a lottery, so I'm way far away from having an actually reality of going. But so, okay, well, when's the next chance you would get to go? Well, if they do it in November this year, what's 2021 look like for the Masters?
Tentatively, it's back to April.
Oh, wow. That seems like a quick turnaround for them.
Yeah. I got the email when they said no fans this
Sure.
time. They said, okay, we're going to continue your name.
Okay.
To the
So
April
you're
one.
back
So
in
I'm
the
back
lottery
in.
for the spring, if
Yep.
that holds.
Hopefully.
Okay.
yes.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.
So then tell us your thoughts on what we should expect, like leaderboard-wise, for this Masters coming up. What are we looking at?
Well, with like the Masters, the U.S. Open shifted as well to September, and coming fresh off the not really drumming of the competition, but Bryson DeChambeau quite easily won that, SMU zone. So I think I have him as my favorite, mostly because, historically at the Masters, those players that can hit it a little longer off the tee have fared a little better. Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Bubba Watson. So with Bryson's length, he'll be able to attack the par fives and try to get a leg up there. But some of the other individuals that did top tens at the U.S. Open, like Xander Schauffele, John Rahm, Rory McIlroy, who only needs the Masters to complete the career Grand Slam.
Is that a reality? Is that a possibility for him to win?
Possibility, yes. Yeah, it's a possibility. He's struggled there for the most part in being able to close anything out. But you never know. You just need 4 days.
Yeah.
You just need to be
the
on
right 4
for
days.
4 days.
The
yes.
right, yeah, beyond those 4 days. So when I asked you who your favorite athlete was, you said Michael Jordan. Golf-wise, though, I mean, you mentioned Bryson DeChambeau for now, but historically, like, who are your favorite golfers?
Historically, Greg Norman and Fred Couples would be the two that I tried to emulate. Failed to do so, but I just, Greg Norman was called the Shark for a reason. He wanted to go out there and devour the competition. But then Fred Couples was almost the opposite. His swing was so fluid and easy, not quite conventional, and definitely was kind of just like somebody you would go play with, just kind of like an every guy out there. So those two kind of stood with me for most of the time, which is one of the interesting things is what I might be able to see Fred on the senior tour when they play the PGA Championship here.
Yeah, that's right. That's a whole nother thing is, I mentioned that, but I didn't even connect the dots that those names will be kind of some of the names that people, probably our generation, will be most like looking forward to seeing some legends, coming around.
And at that time, either that's the year or maybe a year afterwards when Phil Mickelson will be eligible for senior tour.
Okay.
So he could.
So
be
what's
there
that
too.
age that you're eligible for senior tour?
I think it's 50.
50. Yeah. Okay. How old is he? I thought he was up
48,
there, about there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's almost at that mark. So is he still actively competing?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's still competing.
Is he?
This year's been kind of rough for him.
Yeah.
But again, he's won the Masters, I think, 3 times. So he's and Tiger Woods, who just won last year. Those are the type of veterans that, can sneak up on you and just get it going just for the 4 days.
Yeah. They have a way of making those comebacks when they need to, right? That's exciting to watch. Well, okay, so the Masters, November 12th, it starts through the 15th. Okay, we'll be watching for that, and then we'll be watching for the Byron Nelson hitting McKinney TPC Craig Ranch. Did I say that in the right order? TPC Craig Ranch?
TPC Craig
Okay.
Ranch, yep.
In May. And then more like right after that, we're going to start seeing PGA activity here in Frisco. So very exciting. I'm excited for our kids to, like you said, have that access, for our families to have the access, and for our community to be able to have all those connections and the businesses and people moving here and coming here and visiting here and pumping some more money into our economy that we love so much. So awesome. Well, Steven, thank you for coming here and giving me a little golf update 101 from you today.
Sure. Thank you so much. It's been fun.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Hustle and Pro. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts, and we'll see you next week.